Hello everyone, welcome to Nigra Techies. In this video, I am going to explain lazy loading in Angular application. So the lazy loading basically is used for improving the performance of any application. So it is the process of loading components, models, and some required assist files when they are really required. So in other words, just to consider one real-time application, it may have n number of models and the models have n number of components. If you are loading all the models at the same time, it will take some additional time. So it will reduce the performance of our application. So avoiding that, we can use this lazy loading concept. It will load the required components and models only. So for in this video, I am going to explain these important three topics. First one is implementing the lazy loading concept. So basically this lazy loading also comes under the routing, and the routing already explained by one of the video. I am going to share the link in the description so you can watch it. And the next one is enable the preload for the specific model. So in case if you have implemented the lazy loading for all the models, in such scenarios, you have to load the particular model in the initial load itself. So based on some kind of flag functionality, we can enable it. So that also I'm going to explain. At the end, the route card can load interface. So the route card also I am already implemented my one of the video that time I'm not explained about this can load interface. Basically this can load also used for the authorization of model level. Now let me go to my code. If you see here, currently I am having two components. One is contact and customer, and also the app component was there. So in the routing file, I have included the two routes. So in the output, I am having the two links. One is home and another one is the component. For explaining this lazy loading, I am going to create some models. My first model is user ng generate model, and my model name is user. And one more important thing, so whenever I am generating the models, I have to generate the routing file also. So I have to provide like this. So our user model is gets generated. If I go to the folder, I can see the model and also the routing file. The same way I am going to create the one more model. So ng generate model. The next model name is customer. Okay, great, it's created. Now we can create the component for the specific models. Ng generate component. So first I'm going to create for the user view user. Okay, great. The same way I'm going to create for the customer also. Okay, great. Look like our required files are generated. Now we can implement the lazy loading. First, let me go to our app routing model. Here we have the existing routes. So I can include one more route for user. So instead of the component, we can use the load children. So basically this load children is used for implementing the lazy loading. Here I need to import the existing model. So our model is user model. Okay, this is done and I can use this then and user model, that's it. So the routing side we have done. Now let me go to the link side. Here already we have the links up to the contact. So I can include the user. So as of now we have done changes from our app routing model, and our user model also have the routing file. Okay, here we need to include our routes. So the path is view. and our component is view user. Okay, currently I'm in our contact page. So if I'm clicking this user, so it's nothing loaded. Let me check. As of now, there is no error. But actually, our link should be user slash view. That's what it's not loaded. So user from our main routing model. Inside that, we have the view. That's it. So again, I'm in the contact page. So if I'm clicking the user, see the user slash view. So it's working. So our main motive is we have to verify the lazy loading. So this is the initial load time. If I'm go to the source, the bottom webpack, inside the source and app, you can see the contact and home service folders. We don't have the user model related information. Once I'm clicking this user, so that time only it's downloaded. Until it's not required, it's not loaded. So in order to we can improve the performance. So as of now, I'm explained with a single model. And also we have created the one more model is customer. Now I'm trying to load the customer directly. For doing the direct load, we have to include our model in the import side, customer model. You may have the questions. We can implement the lazy loading, then we are doing the direct thing. For showing the difference, I am just doing this one also. Now let me go to our app routing model. Here I can include customer and our component is view customer. The same time I can include the link also in our app component. So see now the initial load time. So actually we are in the user page. Let me go to the home page, then only you will get some clear idea. See now the contact, customer, home. The customer model is also loaded because we have loaded directly without the lazy loading. If I'm going to the customer also no changes because the files are already loaded. So the user is not loaded initially. So when I'm going to the user, it's loaded fine. So in that way, we have to implement the lazy loading. Now I'm going to explain enable preload for the specific model. Okay. So basically we have the preload strategy concept was there. Using that we can load the specific model. So let me go to my application. I'm going to enable the lazy loading for both the models. We already implemented for the user. The same way I can implement for our customer also. Customer and customer model. And here also I need to change the customer model. So here after this component is not required. And let me go to the app model. Here also I am included this customer model. Let me remove it. And the very important thing is we need to do some changes in our customer routing model also. And path, I'm trying to give the empty path. And our component is I think view customer. Now let me see once again. See The customer and user both are not loaded. So if I'm clicking this customer, customer is loaded. So if I'm clicking the user is loaded. So now my current requirement is I have to enable this user in the initial load time itself. For that, we have the preloading strategy. So the preloading strategy have the default options like no preload and load all the models. So if you want the specific model, we have to create the custom functionality. The custom service we need to generate it. Before that, let me explain the existing thing. Preload all the models. So if I'm giving like this, it will load all the models. Let me go to the source. See now, the customer and user both are loaded. Actually, I'm not clicked anything. Also, we have implemented the lazy loading. For using the preloading strategy, we have just enabled it. And if you provide the no preloading, so this is basically working like our lazy loading concept. Initially, it cannot load anything. See now nothing is loaded. So whenever I'm clicking the particular model, it's loading the data. So now we can generate our custom preload functionality. So this is also kind of service. So let me create one service, ng generate service. I'm going to give the name is preload. So look like our file is generated. Let me go to the service folder. Here the spec file is not required. Let me remove it. So here I need to implement preload strategy. So it's showing some error. So implement the preloading interface. Okay, great. Instead of function, I can give load. So as of now, nothing is implemented. So if you see in the preload, we have the input is called route. The route basically will return the complete routing information. So whatever data we have added in our app routing model, so in the particular routes, it will return all the data. So let me check one condition. Route.data. We are checking we have the data. If you have the data dot preload. Okay, still it's showing some error. Let me add it. Okay, actually we need to add like this. If it is a positive scenario, we have to return the function. Else, I have to return as null. So basically our return type is observable format. That's why it's showing the error. Let me convert this into observable format. OF I need to include here. That's it. Okay, we have done. So now we can call this preload service in our app routing model. Instead of the default value, I can provide this one. Okay, great. And the very important thing, if you noted this logic, we are checking do we have the data. If we haven't data, we are checking this preload. So in the user routing model, so not a user routing model, in the app routing model, I can include the data for user. The data and preload, the value is true. The same way I can include this is for customer also. Here I am giving false. Now we can verify the output. Let me go to our home and I'm refreshing. So if you see here inside the source and app, the user is preloaded. Without clicking it's loaded, but the customer is not loaded. So after clicking the load only, it's loaded. So we are handling the preload option. If I'm trying to give false for user, giving true for customer means the expected result is on the initial loading time, it will download the customer, it cannot download the user. See now, the customer is loaded, the user files are not loaded. So for the testing purpose, we have only two models. In the real time, we may have n number of models. If required, we have to enable the particular model to load on the page load itself. So now we have completed this preloading concept. So the final one is route card can load interface. First, let me create one route card for this can load. So ng generate card. So this is also kind of service. So I'm going to create inside the service folder, and I'm trying to give the name is auth. Okay, we have to use this is for can load only. Okay, great. The file is generated. So it have all the interfaces. We don't worry, we can use this can load only. If not required, we can remove also. And here I'm going to create one constructor. So here the idea is based on the role I am restricting some models. So in the real-time application, once you are logged in, you will get the current role. So based on that, we can restrict the some models. Currently, I'm not going to implement any login concept. Instead of that, I'm going to give some hardcode value. Current role equal to admin. Okay, done. And now let me go to my auth card. Here I am trying to access this master service. And let me check. So this dot service dot current role equal to admin. If it is admin, it's true. If it's not admin, we have to return false. Okay, done. So now we have implemented the route card. Now we can include this route card in our routing model. I am going to include this one is for user only first. We need to give values in the array format and auth card. See now currently I am in my home page. So if I'm trying to access the contact and the customer, if I'm trying to click this user, so user also it's initially working fine because I'm hard coded also admin only. Now I am trying to change the value into user the current role. So the home I am able to access. So if I'm trying to access this user, it won't allow. But I can go to the customer, but I cannot access this user. So we can give some alert, then only user will identify, or else user can understand very clearly. The false scenarios I can give like you don't have an access. Okay, now if I'm trying to click this user, it won't allow. Even if I'm trying to give the URL also like this, it won't allow. You don't have an access. Okay, in this way we have to use this can load. So as of now we have completed this lazy loading and preloading concept, and finally the route card can load. Still, if you have any doubts or clarifications, please post in my comment box, and also please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thanks for watching.